The sun, the Earth's ultimate source of energy. Hi, I'm Chris, Managing Director of Yorkshire Energy Systems, and I'm here to explain to you why there is no energy crisis. Now, there's a lot of coverage in the media about climate change and problems with energy. Fossil fuels, which we've been using now for a couple of hundred years, are running out, they're getting more expensive, and as yet we do not have the systems in place to replace them. But there is actually no energy crisis. In fact, you've all been using solar energy all your lives. You might be thinking, no, I haven't. I've been using gas or coal or oil. Yes, you have. But all of those fossil fuels are in fact only stored solar energy that was laid down hundreds of millions of years ago. They were all stored in the bodies of plants that then became peat that was then compressed to form oil and gas. Now, the problem with all of those fossil fuels, of course, is that they are now running out. They're a finite resource. And also that when we use them, we produce lots of greenhouse gases that are creating climate change, which is probably the single biggest threat to us at the moment. So you might think, well, then there is an energy crisis. Well, no, because the source of all that energy, the sun, is still here. It's been around for 5 billion years, and it's going to be around for another 5 billion years, throwing energy at us every day. In fact, 15 minutes of sunlight is all we need to supply all the energy needs of the human race for an entire year. So there isn't an energy crisis. What there might be is a technological or economic or a political crisis, but the energy is all there. And in fact, the technology to use that energy is all around us in the form of solar panels. Yes, you might be saying, yes, we've got solar panels, but they cost a lot of money and the government's incentives have diminished. And we're in Yorkshire and we don't get that much sunshine. Well, that's not actually true. You don't need bright blue skies and scorching sunlight to produce solar electricity. All you need is light. And we've plenty of light in Yorkshire. In fact, you'll get enough energy out of the average solar array on a house roof in Yorkshire to provide between 2/3 and 3/4 of that house's energy needs. So there's plenty of light around. Now, in terms of the government's incentives, there's been a lot of myths about this. Yes, the feed-in tariff, as it's called, which should really be called a generation tariff because you actually paid for what you generate, was reduced several years ago. But that reduction was correct because there was an enormous drop in the cost of installing solar panels. In fact, it will cost you less than half now to install a viable PV system than it did 3 or 4 years ago. So for an average PV system of between, say, 4,000 and 6,000, you're going to get a return of somewhere between £600 and £850 a year, index-linked, tax-free for 20 years. Now, that kind of return on capital is impossible to match anywhere else. So, yes, it's viable economically. Yes, solar power will reduce the amount of greenhouse gases that we're producing. And solar power can be here with us for another 5 billion years. Yorkshire Energy Systems, your key to a greener future.